Good morning. This is Morning Coffee, and today I am going to be extremely transparent. Why? Because it is time to come from out of the darkness and into the light as much as I can, and just to really be transparent on a level, especially since I find myself doing the work. So I'm doing some work that people that fellowship the way I fellowship understand what I would be talking about. And for if you don't, you'll catch on because you know you can take anything that applies and let it apply. So I get up this morning and I'm feeling despondent. And that is not my typical feeling. But when I'm holding on to something on the inside and it seems to be developing its own cocoon within me, it starts to develop and grow. And I never know when I'm going to respond or react to it. So I go about my normal course of the day, which is just to really hit my knees and pray. And then something leads me to pick up my journal and to begin writing because I'm doing the work. I'm in the process of really just taking an inventory of myself. And I'm trying to be very searching. I'm trying to be fearless. I'm trying to be realistic. And so I'm just journaling. And so I get up this morning and I'm feeling that cocoon now. And it's starting to kick inside of me. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I don't generally, share on this level, but what I wrote today, it really astounded me and made me take a step back because really, when I think about my life is really going great. It really is. I am living the dream. I am the dream. I am believing in the manifestation. I'm talking about the spiritual manifestations. I'm even excited about things that I see happening in other people's life. I guess in essence, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And that statement can sometimes become so cliche. But when you have lived in sorrow for so long, and when you have a cocoon inside of you that's full of fear, anger, resentment, just stuff that wants to keep you back, that keeps you paralyzed in fear, keeps you paralyzed from actually, you can see everybody else living and moving and going through the motions and doing what they need to do, not just to live the dream, but to be the dream, and really to do what they've been called and assigned to do, and yet you stand back because you're too afraid, because resentments are deep. They're deep. So anyway, I wrote, sometimes I feel so disconnected from myself. I know that there is good on the inside, yet my focus drifts and I just can't get it together. An overwhelming sadness keeps me hostage to my thinking, and the resentments are at the core. Paralyzed is the word. It's just lethargic and draining. So this is how resentments affect me. The only thing that gives me temporary relief is more sex, which leads to more resentments. Now, sex is not the problem. So I don't want you to get diverted from this. And when I say more sex, I'm even just the thought of that, I need that. See, when you are really looking at your life, you have to look at the history and development of you. And ever since I was a little boy, that has been a fixation in my mind. So it's the fantasies that try and keep me in the reality that if I can just get something to make me feel good, and it's just it just goes over and over until it turns into a vicious cycle, and it's like I'm just running chasing something that I'm never gonna get. And it's especially critical when really what you want isn't in your fantasy, it's right at home. I know some of y'all get me. It's right at home. But you can't get it for whatever reason. And it builds more resentment in the cocoon. Because you like, well, am I not good enough? Do I look all right? And like Patti LaBelle saying, you know, is the way I dress, is the way I look, you know, what is it? And then while you're doing this very precious, tender thing for yourself, like this inventory that I'm doing, it allows me to refocus on, relationships can be a very painful area because, and this is my experience, because in your mind, there is a mindset that you have about how relationships should go for you. You begin to assign how a person should love you. So if the person is giving you money, or the person is showing up and they're supportive of you in other ways, that may not be what you're looking for, and it may not be able to be the thing that you need. Therefore, in your mind, that person is not meant for you because they're not either sexing you the way you think they need to be sexing you. Now, I'm talking about me. Or they're not meeting some criteria that I've developed in my fantasy about what I think a relationship is. Therefore, the relationship becomes a very terrible, painful area for a joker like me. But oh, thanks be to God. As I sit here and as I think on this day, I'm grateful to be focused enough to know that the work begins in shattering the illusion, in dissolving the cocoon. The resentments simply have to go. I will not be able to complete the play that I've been writing for over 14 years. I will not be able to complete the book that I've been writing for most of my life. I will not be able to complete my assignment as a licensed clinical therapist if I continue to let the past haunt me and put me in critical care. And I know I'm not alone. Many of us have been wounded, and we have wounded people. And I mean, it gets bad when you're sleeping and something that happened to you or something that somebody did to you right in the middle of your sleep, you could just remember it as if it happened. And all of a sudden you're in a fetal position when you wake up the next morning because your body is curdled up in pain, because even while you're sleeping, the enemy is trying to destroy. So I stand on authority in saying, the joy of the Lord is my strength. I have got to continue to do this work and to continue to get at the core of the resentment so that when I become free, I can share the good news with other people, and I can let those same people know that if I can get through it, resentment, you can get through it too. I hope you got something out of this today. God bless you. Morning coffee. Have a peaceful day.